Your life is up to you. You run it. You orchestrate it. You drive it. You're the bus driver. You drive it. Pick the best bus. Don't get on to some old level track. Live your life fabulously. And you can do that because you get to choose. You get to choose what your life is about. You get to choose and make those decisions. Choose amazing. Choose fabulous. Choose spectacular. Because when you aim for all those things, if it doesn't quite reach it, it'll still be an amazing adventure.
Welcome to Your Infinite Health. Are you getting older?
Are you feeling it?
How would you like to do that in reverse?
We're your host,
Dr. Tripp
and Lene.
We've run an integrative medicine practice for 13 years.
Together, we have 60 years of combined experience helping clients.
We've helped tens of thousands achieve success in health and live longer, happier lives.
In this show, we'll cover peer-reviewed and evidence-based integrative approaches to creating the health you've always wanted.
We also share professional experience we see in the field every day.
So if you're ready to feel, look, and live your best life, you're in the right place.
Welcome to Your Infinite Health Podcast.
Hey, listener, Tripp is not in here just yet. Not sure what's taken him so long, but I wanted to let you know we've got an amazing guest on the show today. Her name is Wallis Pattison. She's an inspiration for people her age and younger. She's straightforward, quirky, and has this attitude of, let's give it a try. She is the founder of Bold, Not Old, the CEO and editor-in-chief of Empowering Boldness, which is a bi-monthly magazine. In 2018, Bold, Not Old became a platform for self-discovery and learning about aging, society's perceptions about the contribution that older people make, as well as self-worth and what possibilities exist for contributing in meaningful and successful ways. Learning to navigate this sometimes rocky terrain was in some ways like learning to ride a bicycle. A little shaky at first, but confidence grows with practice. Bold Not Old has evolved into a learning platform for building entrepreneurs 60 and up who have plenty left to give and who want to take their ideas and passion to the world. Their personal mantra is to make money and make a difference. Wallis is an advocate for how powerful the silver economy is for those wanting to make a difference and do well. The silver economy taps into the experience of those 50 and up, the largest talent pool in history, and redefines what retirement means. Wallis is an authority on how to be an aging entrepreneur. She's a speaker, author, and intends to disrupt the accepted norms around what is possible as we age. Her passion is to encourage those who are 60 plus to take their knowledge and experience to the world via the online marketplace. She encourages creativity, daring to be different, thinking fabulous, and proving that pursuing a passion or an idea can create a sustainable lifestyle as well as enhanced wellness. Wallis loves to present ideas and concepts that rock the boat. She's often heard saying, "What's next? What can we do with that?" As Wallis says, quote, "Experienced entrepreneurs are an underutilized resource we cannot afford to waste." She also says, if we want to know what our future looks like, we must create it. Join me and Tripp as we welcome Wallis Pattison. All right. So Wallis, yay. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're most welcome. Yeah, no, the best things happen out of things that don't always quite go right or according to plan, as life doesn't.
Oh, yeah. The tech issues. Well, it was an Olympic effort, but we got it worked out because we're awesome.
Of course.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So let's just jump in here. You are so bold. Tell me about that. How did you get to be so bold?
How did I get to be so bold? Oh, look at what I sound a little trite, but I think I came with it. I was a tomboy as a kid, and I always said, fractured my brother's foot playing football when girls didn't play football. Different these days. If he got out playing football, it wouldn't be so frowned upon. It was very frowned upon then. You know, I was a girl, my father kept telling me. I wanted to be a boy.
Were you the only girl with brothers?
No, I have an identical twin sister.
Oh, wow.
And she's totally, completely opposite to me, and which is very interesting for identical twins. I mean, we have similar mannerisms and all those things that go on with identical twins, but we're very different. We're very different people. And so I was a tomboy as a kid, and I just sort of grew up, I guess, being very individual, right, without putting a label on it or knowing in a conscious way that that's how I was. I mean, I was just me. I mean, I didn't question that. Only, as time went on and I got older, and, all the society and all the other pressures settle on you and you start questioning things about yourself. But yeah, up until that point, I mean, I was just me. I was doing all the things that I came with, all I wanted to do, and I wanted to play football and I wanted to do all those things. I wanted to be out there climbing trees, being the next superhero. I wanted to be all those things. So I guess boldness is, something that, something I came with, I think. It was there.
Always there. So how did you, when you started, I'm going to say it wrong, so I apologize. Bold, not old. What did you do prior to starting that company?
Well, I had lots of different businesses over a period of time. And when I was around 62 years of age, I came out. And that was a big thing for me and, of course, my family. So my world turned upside down and inside out. And that was a very, difficult time. And what was really interesting about it was that it was at that time that I actually went to the United States and lived in your country for 4 years.
What part?
I lived in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
Now to Seattle.
Okay.
And then I came home. There was this whole thing with the visas and all that, sort of things were quite difficult from the perspective of being able to stay long term and all that, which I'd love to have done. I love being there. I always thought it wouldn't have been a choice. I always thought if I moved from my country in Australia, I'd go and live in Europe because I really love Europe. But anyway, I finished up as, fate would have it or luck or whatever else. I finished up going and living in the US and it was great. I loved it, really, really loved it. And then I came home and my partner came with me to Australia and settled here. And then about 5-6 years ago, I had a fairly rushed thing and had my gallbladder out. And I'd taken a little bit of I tripped on the steps in the house that we lived in and I damaged my knee quite badly. And so there was a couple of health crises and things like that, apart from the fact that by that time I was around 71 or 2 years of age, and I started to, it started to sort of come in as a cloud and settle on me that I was getting older, and I was like, what the, what's this? Like getting a new bike and learning to ride it or something. It was just something that it just hit me. But I wanted to, like all things that I've done in life, I wanted to embrace it. And so I decided that, and I love expressing myself through clothes, and I like style and fashion. I like to create my own fashion. So we'll say I like fashion, but more style and that sort of thing. And I was very interested in, how people express themselves as they got older through this whole idea of their style and, being themselves and expressing themselves, because I was hearing and getting, to tell you the truth, sick and tired of hearing people talking about, becoming invisible and, all the things that change, the way in which people speak to you and change and, all those sorts of things.
Were you experiencing that? Were people treating you differently?
Yeah, they were actually. I mean, you'd go along to a gathering where there'd be, say, people that's not half my age, but people who were, 30s, 40s, whatever. You'd go along to events, and especially events where, they may have been, family events or those type of things, and people would say, oh, how are you? And you'd say, great, yeah, really good. But the thing is that, their whole voice, their whole demeanour, their whole approach to you altered. Their voice would become different. Oh, how are you? And how are you going? And it sort of took on this whole, to me, it took on a whole condescending.
I'm hearing that.
Approach. Like, how are you going? And then when you'd say, oh, well, and what are you doing? And, oh, isn't it lovely you're keeping busy? And suddenly all the things that you do as an older person that are all the same things that everybody else does, basically, whether it's business or whatever, suddenly becomes this little old person's thing rather than something that's mainstream or isn't that great? Fabulous. And instead of being, oh, that sounds fabulous, Wallis, la, 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 it would become, oh, well, isn't it lovely that you're keeping busy? And you'd think, I don't know.
Listener, just FYI, she is shoving 2 fingers down her throat to gag.
That's how I felt. And it was a bit like, oh, no, not another one. What did I do to deserve this person?
Yeah, so people are imposing their limited ideas of what it means to be a certain age on to others, which is not anything to do with you or anybody in your age group. It is a total reflection of that individual speaking in that way.
And with their experiences. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes, it's not even about their experience. It's about what they've heard.
Right.
It's what they've grown up with. It's about what society teaches them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some, crusader for, society. Well, I suppose in a way I am, but I'm not openly going, I'm on this great crusade to change the way people think. I think, or my belief is that people's attitudes and society's attitudes change when we change.
Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
because we're in society.
If we feed into that, if we don't boldly live our lives, if we don't speak up, if we don't say no when we need to say no, if we don't speak up, if we don't begin those businesses that we'd like to have a go at, if we don't step out and wear those things that all our life we might love to have worn and we didn't because, somebody in our family says, oh, you're not going to wear that, are you? If we don't do those things, we can't change a damn thing. We can't change anything. And it'll just continue on. And we have an aging population. So, come on, kiddies, let's get together and let's take this opportunity, this paradigm shift in our whole human existence and experience to change that, to set ourselves up and show, the Hopi Indians said, we're the ones we've been waiting for. Well, let's show that. Let's demonstrate that.
do you think it's kind of a collective thing too, that as we age, we in hearing those things over and over and over again, we start to, well, is that true? Is that true? And then maybe subtly we change our anticipation of what we should have. And when in fact we can have much more than we would otherwise have.
Getting worn down by.
Yeah, and I have patients like that. And that's why, they become accustomed to a certain way of living. And when I'm able to intervene and change their entire physiology and help their joints get back together and make them much more active and physically capable. And they're saying, I had a guy that said, well, I run a couple miles a day. And I asked him, well, how long does it take you? Well, I run, and he's running. He's probably kind of stepping, but running, he runs about, 15 to 20 minute miles. And I say, and after I've done all this stuff to him, gotten his knees better, this and that and the other better, and he's feeling so much better. And I said, well, how fast are you running your miles now? And he says, well, about the same. I said, no. You have to think that you've accommodated to that level. Now you have to create a new image. You have to create a new image of yourself that actually abides by your physical ability. And now he's running 10-minute mile.
Yeah, right. And I don't know, many years ago, I remember reading a book. What was his name? Schwartz or something like that was his name, the man who wrote the book. And he was a plastic surgeon. And one of the things that he recognized and noticed when he, did plastic surgery on people was their whole demeanor changed. Because, their look changed, their confidence, everything changed, and they became, different people. And I always maintained that through...
Trip wants plastic surgery. Trip is hitting me, telling me he wants plastic surgery.
Look, here's an interesting thing. Recently I went and had my eyebrows done, and they tattooed them because they were getting, thinner and they were, quite great. And, but anyway, I had my eyebrows done, and I just for fun as well, I decided that I'd have, eyelash extensions.
Nice. They look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And I'm not sure that I'll maintain those. I've done it a couple of times, but anyway, that's still a bit up in the air with me because I suffer from sinuses and get quite wet eyes and weak, and they, pardon me. So on a practical level, that mightn't be. But the point is that when I did it, it was just like I wanted to do it because I wanted to try and see how that changed my look. What was that about? If you want to help nature along, what the, go do it.
Right.
Like, just if it's going to make you feel good, it's like me dressing up. I get into this little dressing room of mine and, I'm in another world. Magic happens in there. I love it. I just absolutely love it. So I think it's really, really, really important that I said to someone recently, look, it's so important that you be who you really are. Allow your freak flags to fly and your inner workmeister to center stage. Be who you really are.
Well, there's no reason not to, because people are not really worried about you. They are caught up in their own self ideas. So, why worry that somebody's going to judge your shoes or your purse or whatever it is? Even if they do, at the end of the day, they're worried about what you're thinking about them anyway. And I think that's one of the great things about becoming older is it is easier. It seems to be easier to step into your confidence and your power and your individuality, and overcome some of those self-conscious things that we deal with when we're in our teens. It starts in the teens, and then even in the 30s when you're trying to be the best mom or you're trying to be the best, employee or whatever it is. There's a freeness, I think, that comes when you get older and you realize that nobody else's opinion matters.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I think the thing that happens as we get older is, our our ego, we don't have the ego that we used to have. I always say to people, don't get me wrong, I have a healthy ego, but healthy, underline healthy, hopefully. I don't have an ego to feed, so I don't care. I simply do not care what others say or think. I couldn't give a damn.
Yeah, but so many people do. So tell, and that's where you come in. Get them unbound from that limitation. So you talk about the silver economy. Can you explain that?
Yeah, the silver economy, really. And I mean, it's there. It's an economy. It's an economy created by, I mean, the term is the silver economy. It's an economy created by the fact that we have an aging population. And there's so much and so many things that are going on that are accommodating or have grown out of that phenomena, that aging population thing. So you've got cruise lines that cater for older, people. You've got cruise lines that, no kids, no casinos.
Right.
You've got all those types of things and other things. You've got the wellness area. You've got specific products and services that are being offered for people who are a little bit older. You've got, and especially, out of Singapore and those areas, the innovative products and the innovative things that are, coming out of that for even aged care areas. So, it's not even necessarily those of us that might still be able to run, like Trip says, a mile in 10 minutes. It may be people who are more incapacitated or more, they lead a more sedentary lifestyle than, these companies have stepped in and gone, we can provide better food, we can provide better nutrition, we can provide, better things. So that whole economy across the board, is a gold mine for, innovation and creation.
Right. And yeah, for sure. How do you feel about the aging communities? Do you find that they, I think now it's 55 and up, the community?
55 plus. Yeah.
55 plus. Do you find that they...
Or plus.
Do you find that they encourage an active, participatory life, or that they cater to the decline of energy and involvement? And
I'd like to think that at the 55 end, that there's a bit of a wake up thing there for them, that they're going, gosh, they're hearing. I have 55-year-olds and even 50-year-olds say to me, Wallis, I'm hearing, those types of things already, and I'm only 50. And I go, it's there. It's stuck in where we've got this thing about, young and beautiful, that's all helped along by if you spend all your time watching the Kardashians who never seem to age.
It's easy to do when you're mostly plastic.
Yeah, and you would be able to do that, as I say to people, if you had all that money anyway. Our Queen of England, I mean, I always absolutely admired her. I thought she was beautiful, even into old age, but she had the money to be it too. So, money helps. Sorry, but, people don't like it sometimes when I say that, but, that's a matter of me being my boldness too. Money does help. It breaks up there with oxygen. You certainly can't buy things out of billy lids.
Right.
Do it. Money makes the world go round at this time. Some currency anyway. That's why it's called currency. So it moves around. But I just, I think that, I think it's something now that people, who are 55 plus, starting to look at it, and they're starting to hear the same sorts of things, and they're starting to go, wow, what are they talking about? Why is that? Or they lose a job and they find it, I've got a son who's, 52, and, he was a partner in his company, and a big company, and anyway, they decided to part ways. And I really think that in his mind, he thought that, he's smart, he's bright, he's really intelligent. I think he thought that it wouldn't be much time when he'd walk out and get into something else. But I'll guarantee it. I haven't had that conversation with him, but I'll guarantee that when he goes for something or when he looks for a job or when he gets the interview that he's up against, 30-odd-year-olds or 20-odd-year-olds. And I think the integration, we're still yet to see the integration of older and younger people because it's such a lost resource. The intelligence, the experience, you cannot put an old head on young shoulders. The experience that...
Honestly, I think work ethic is also something that some young people could learn some lessons from.
Yeah, absolutely, without getting... But you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to keep those older people in the workforce and in.
Do you think they want to? Do you think most older people want to work?
They want to make an impact and they want to have something meaningful, but they're not driven by the same values. They're not out to get the big homes, probably, and they don't have to rear the kids and they don't have to do all those things. So they want, talking from an older person, you want to earn money and make an impact, but you want to do it on your terms and you want to do it. You don't want to be working flat out. It's not what you want to do anymore. But, you do want to be doing things. So I think it's a balance there. It's not driven by the same values anymore.
So do you think the better way to do that is for that individual to become an entrepreneur and to create their own business? Or do you find most people trying to get a job? I mean, I don't know.
I'm an entrepreneur. When I was a kid, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. It's a bit like the tomboy boldness thing. I used to sell guinea pigs when I was a kid to the kids at school.
Really?
Anything I get my hands on.
I bet parents loved you doing that.
Oh yeah, they were very impressed. So were my parents. But I had a whole. Anyway, it was wonderful. But anything I could get my hands on, I sold. I've always been very entrepreneurial in the things that I've done. So I guess that in a way, I'm a bit, biased. But having said that, I think it's whatever floats your boat. I think it's more important. It's not whether you want to do a job. It's not whether you want to start a business for yourself, and I'm all for that. I certainly can help in that area. The job thing, well, I don't make a good employee, so I'm probably not the person to talk to in that respect. That doesn't sort of float too well with me. But I'm saying to people, or my thing for people would be, whatever it is, have a passion for something. It's most important. I mean, probably the longevity is probably more, but at least scientifically it's proven. And triple understand this, that if you have a passion, if you have a, meaning in your life for the things that you do, a reason to get out of bed, it's like Dr. Gene Houston used to say, it's the hounds of heaven, barking at your feet. You need to do those things. And the longevity of it is probably at least an extra 12 years on your life, providing you stay, healthy, and I'll take it.
How do you motivate? And, I'm just thinking I have someone in my family. He seems to have been 100 years old for the past 18 years. He lives in his recliner. He watches TV from sun up to sundown. And I'm just like, what are you living for? Like, what would you say to somebody who's existing that way?
Look, that's a hard one, isn't it? Because I think the whole point is that from our perspective, if we come back to ourselves, of course, I get it. You'd love to be able to pick him up and shake the daylights out of him and say, get a grip, mate. Come on, get going. But the fact of life is, and we know it as we grow up, as we become adults and onwards, there's just some people you can't change. There's just some things you can't change. There's some people you can't change. There's circumstances you can't change. You just got to be an encourager and do the best with it. You just, it's a bit like, I got it. You really want to be there? Okay, let's make you as comfortable as we can. You all right there? Do you need something a bit more comfy? I've really, really come to that point, Lene, in life that I used to get so damn frustrated about different things, and I just want to go at it like a bull in a china shop. I just want to change things or change people. But nah, yeah, and I always say this to people now, I'm for those, look, I'm a bit like licorice. Not everybody loves me, but those that love me can't get enough.
Yeah, licorice is like that.
Yeah. And I
like the red licorice.
So, it's like, I'm not for everyone. Some people I turn off at at 100 mile an hour. And that's all right. I don't want to be everyone anyway. But I think that that's a bit like your person. I think that if you've encouraged, if you've, maybe had a conversation, then leave it. Next. Because quite frankly, at your age, you're for those that really want what you've got. And if they don't know they want it, well, they're not ready.
Wise words. Well, we are about running out of time. This has just gone so fast. Where can people find you? What's one last thing you want everybody to know?
And your life is up to you. You run it. You orchestrate it. You drive it. You're the bus driver. You drive it. Pick the best bus. Don't get onto some old level trap. Live your life fabulously. And you can do that because you get to choose. You get to choose what your life is about. You get to choose and make those decisions. Choose amazing. Choose fabulous. Choose spectacular. Because when you aim for all those things, if it doesn't quite reach it, it'll still be an amazing adventure. It'll still be amazing. People can reach me at Wallis, Wallis is the first name, Wallis at oldnotold.com.au. I have a website, oldnotold.com.au. I have a type of podcast. I'm starting a new podcast soon, but I have a Wednesdays with Wallis, where I always have an opinion about something I chat about. And
I love it. I'm tuning in.
And so I'm on Facebook and, I'm fairly present on social media and LinkedIn and all sorts of stuff that I had to learn and get used to as I got older, because that wasn't quite me. I was a kid when technology came out and computers came out, and I said it was a fad, it wouldn't last. So I was on that end of it. And so it's been, catch up really ever since. But I haven't done too badly. I'm self-taught, but I've done a lot of things. So, I'm happy about that. So they're the areas if people can, contact me on. And I hope they do. If you've got anything you want to talk about or anything you want to talk through, I've had a background in counselling and all sorts of things as well as business. And, So, yeah, I'm pretty bright and intelligent.
That's awesome. This has been absolutely delightful. Thank you so much.
Really?
I'm so glad that we were able to get the tech settled so that we could have this experience and get to know you better.
It's wonderful. And you know, once we're off the air, you know, keep in touch. I'd love to see how you're going. I read your story and I thought it was fantastic, and I could really, really relate to that. But I also looked at it and thought it's such a testimony to life that you just get a plan. Get a plan. Mightn't be the one you end up with, but get a plan. Start, put your foot out, one foot in front of the other, and begin. You don't know where that goes. It's like all these podcasts. I put out to this guy and I said, yeah, okay, get me on, some podcasts and let me see where that goes. Let me see. That's an adventure because I like chatting and I like, chatting. And I love finding out what other people do, what they're about, how they're going. Yeah, cool. Well, thank you. It's all good, wasn't it? Yeah,
That's good.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Wow, what an awesome, amazing, and inspirational woman Wallis is. We're so honored to have had her on the show. Listener, I hope you found this valuable, informative, entertaining, and until next time.
Thanks for subscribing to Your Infinite Health. I'm Dr. Tripp.
And I'm Lene. Until next time, feel it, look it, and live it.